Rightio. We're live. Let's see what Facebook's going to do to me today. Just waiting. We're live. Let's see what Facebook's going to do to me. Waiting. It's live. Radioski. Not showing anybody. I have one viewer. Someone got the notification. Hey up, Jimmy. How you doing, buddy? Did you get a notification? I don't know if you heard your name. Anyway, I'm just it's an update really. I just thought I'd come on and as of yesterday, because I mean I was helping my friends out yesterday. Hi Roy, hi Jason. So yeah, so I didn't really get much chance, and I've also been helping another lady. I've assisted her in drafting a notice up to put them on stop, because I mean when people make claims, the main thing here is anybody making a claim, see, even in us, like, you know what I mean, even if we make a claim, ultimately they've got to be held up. We've got to make them produce the material evidence. Now the thing is, obviously, the important, I mean, because it's, remember what I'm here to do is to get to the masses, try to get to the masses by explaining it in a way, because the masses are me. I'm a part of the masses, and the masses are part of me. We were all brought into this world. We all put through the same indoctrination. We were all put through the same programming through the television and through the surrounding people that have all been put under the same programming, and as a collective, it keeps you all in that same hive mindset, you know, and you're all hive. And it's until you break away from that hive mindset to start having a mind of your own that you start to see all the things that you've been doing wrong all your life, and why it was you was doing wrong when, you know, because if you don't know something's wrong, you could be doing something wrong. And this is basically how they did it to us. I mean, they've got everybody doing things wrong, and they just sit back and cream us. They just sit back and fleece us, take everything off us, because we didn't actually stop to think for ourselves, you know, and we listened to what our friends and our loved ones told us, not aware of the fact that they had been programmed and lied to, and they accepted that lie and repeated it as the truth. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's the truth, and nothing comes out of my mouth. So that's what I'm trying to say. You have to know it for yourself. Hey, I'll do your job, brother. How you doing, buddy? Hi, Maureen. Hi, Nita. So I'm trying to get it across to the facts, to the people that are actually, because I mean, how do you tell somebody that's hypnotized that is hypnotized? How do you break them out of that trance that they're under? How do you make them just to stop for a second and think for themselves, to actually look at there could be something else? There's something that they're missing. It's like when you go, you know, when you see these people go to the police, they're not allowed to have a mind of their own. When you saw that Mark Sexton go down and he was speaking to the police, you could see, you know, Mark was saying to him, look, first and foremost, you know, you're a man, you're acting in this position, you know, you're performing as an officer, but, you know, when you're out of that suit, you are a man, you know, so first and foremost, there's a man there that's got his own mind, his own decisions, self-determined. You can make a mind of yourself. You've got an opinion. Everybody should have an opinion. And those opinions are formed and based upon the knowledge that you've got within inside your head, the experiences that you've done. You know, whose opinion are you regurgitating? Is it your own opinion? Did you think of that of yourself, or is it just because the masses go along with it, you're going to go along with it? You have to have your own opinion, and to have that ability to formulate your own opinion, You've had to work on your own self so that you can have something in there to base those positions off. Messing with the feed, I'm good as always. Are they messing with it? It doesn't look like they're messing with it. So basically, yeah, like I say, anything that's gonna save us, guys. The only thing, you know, what will save us, should I say? What will save us is by raising the awareness of the people to what is actually going on around us. And you've got the quantum side of things, which was the correct sentence communication, parsing, syntax, grammar, by parsing and syntaxing the documents to see that, you know, hang on here, guys, do you really know what it says? Do you really know what I mean when I say what I mean, what I mean, what I say, what I mean? You know, do you really understand exactly what it is by the words that you're speaking? You know, just because you've been told that that's what they mean, did you ever go and look in the dictionary or do the etymology on the word to actually see what it really means so that you truly know what you're saying? And this is the importance really, because I mean, things are simple, guys. Things are simple. We're all going, it's too complicated. I can't understand it. Well, that isn't the point that it's complicated. That is because what's been done to us all. Yeah, because logic, simple, everything's very, very simple. Yeah, when they experiment with LSD and other hypnos by using words like conspiracy theorist, every time anyone says one of those words, they go mental. Indoctrination and spells were made in real depth, for sure. And these trigger words that switch people off. I mean, it's not just trigger words that switch people off. You lose people. You can see when you lose people because you see their eyes go glazed. This is down to the ability to stay focused and keep your attention span to focus on something, because certain things everyone wanted explaining in 2 or 3 words, but because you can't explain certain things in 2 or 3 words, and it'll go over a string of words and a length of time, a bigger time than their attention span can focus, they will never hear the full story. And until you hear the full story, you'll never grasp the point that is being made. So you try and narrow the points down as much as you can to capture the people's attention span. But that's when you have to start using different words and things, and then they don't understand the words. So it's really difficult to try and have something explained to you when you're not, when you're not ready. This is the main thing is when are you ready, you know? And I used to always, I mean, how bad has it got to get before people are going to actually realize that there's something that's going to, I mean, that's, I mean, when I used to post, because I like to post out, I try to, I'm a solutionist. I try to bring the solutions, not the problems. But obviously you've got to show the problems to see why you need the solution. So you've got to realize there's something wrong before you're going to want to try and fix it. But if you don't realize there's something wrong, you're just going to carry on the way you're going because everybody else does. That's the way we was indoctrinated, and that's the way that's the way we were all brought into being by the call it, one for the better word, someone who's controlling the architect of what the darker system wanted to do. The higher architect is within inside every single one of you, because we are the architects. We design we design, we are the creators. We are all individually creators, but they have it as an external God, you know, all God's on a fluffy cloud and all these other things, so that we're looking outside and never looking within, because it's all about looking within. They really attack us for no reason. I have lost many people. I've lost many people as well, but I stopped a year ago explaining and trying no more. I'm here when you're ready. They do not comprehend. And like you say, Andrew, they're not ready. They're not. I mean, and this is focus on the ones that are. Don't burn yourself out on the ones that are not. You know, and it's easier said than done. You know, you just want to help everyone. You know, you want to, when you've got this knowledge, you want to put it out. But the point here is when you're trying to explain that to them, you know, it's how, because if you haven't, I mean, you've heard it. You know, you can understand something. You can understand it perfectly well inside your head, and not to do it. But now go and try to explain that to somebody else so that they understand what you understand. Now it's a totally different ballgame. Because when you're explaining it, if you ever sat back and listened to yourself, what you actually said, you'll think, how the hell could he have ever understood what I was saying? What a load of fucking gobbledygook. But at the time when it was coming out of your mouth, you thought it was 100% correct. Yeah. You thought you'd explained it perfectly. But when you actually sat back to listen to how you'd explained it, you can say, whoa, how the hell could he have ever understood it? Then you can excuse, you can excuse the fact that why he didn't understand you and why that argument came. And it wasn't his fault. It was your own fault because you was getting frustrated because you couldn't explain it. And the way he was explaining it was never to be understood. I do not adhere to this, but maybe these individuals are not mentioned to wake up. I mean, I've just been listening to another thing that's been done, because you remember, guys, yeah, remember, we're souls, we're soul beings within inside a vessel, this vessel. Now the vessels, yeah, right, yeah, are physical. The physical vessels can be poisoned, can have things manipulated on them, but our soul being can't, right? And it's our connection to soul being. That's why we have to go inside ourselves. It's our connection to soul being, because if the soul being is in control of the mind, in other words, yeah, if we are in control of our mind, yeah, then nobody else is going to be. But if we're not in control of our mind, then somebody else is, or something else is. And that's what it really comes down to. It's time to fight fire with fire, Andrew. I still don't agree, Reg. I mean, we saw what happened there yesterday, and ultimately, you know, it's like anything else, right? Yeah, you can give somebody a gun, and it doesn't matter. The gun is as good as the man that's handling it. You can give a man the knowledge, yeah, but it's as good as how he puts it across, and it's as good and it's as strong as his conviction is, or his comprehension of it is to how he's convicted. You know, how he's convicted, his convictions as standing. So ultimately, yeah, I mean, yesterday, you know, anyone can say that, you know, anyone could say that Margaret could have done a few things better, but ultimately, you know, I'm not going to take anything away from what she did. She stood her ground very, very firm, and she didn't stand a chance. And the reason she didn't stand a chance is because, as far as I'm concerned, they were private police. They were whatever they were. They did never identified themselves. The bailiffs never identified themselves. So what were they? And ultimately, we do understand when we talk about the pyramid of terror, what the pyramid of terror means. So this pyramid of terror means there's an organization, or there's an organization that is being controlled, and there are members of this organization that are inside the police force, that are inside the courts, that are inside the council. And these members inside these organizations are fraudulently counterfeiting the authority to pertain to trying to deceive us. But ultimately, when they can't deceive us, ultimately when we catch them out by standing our ground and making them produce the material evidence to substantiate their claims, which you know that they can't do because you have never been served with any proceedings issued by a court, as neither had Margaret. This was nothing to do with the court. So it had no authority of the court. So now moving into, this isn't a fact, guys. This isn't a fact. This is complete illusion. So this is an illusion. This is a virtual reality, but with very serious consequences, as you could see, because her house got took off her. Yeah, well, she was removed from the house for now anyway. So how can that happen? How can that happen? Yeah, well, you know, anyone can be outnumbered. Yeah, anybody can be outnumbered. How do we stop it? Well, people that are working in the shadows, yeah, don't work in the light. They won't work in the light. So that's why I do what I do, guys. I've not just done it for Margaret. I've done it for John Patterson. I've done it for Carol Woods. I've done it for many people. You know, I tried to do it with, you know, I got pulled into it, exposing 788 and trying to big up what Gordon Bowden was doing, only to find out that the Pandora's box investigation was just another. That's how they do it, guys. The best way to control the opposition is to fucking run it. Okay. So now you start to see it. So whenever you get a big organization, you've got to question it. You're going to have to question it. So ultimately, yeah, we need people, individuals, and those individuals, or should I say those singular people, have all got their own niche. They've all got their own ability. So individually, we've all got our own knack. Some people are good at writing. Some people are good at talking. Some people are good at art. Some people are good at with children. Some good people are good looking after old age pensioners. You know, in the care. Everyone's got their own different ability, and there's horses for courses, so to say, and everybody's got their own niche because that's what they like doing, because they do it good, and that's why they like doing it. So even though we're all individual and all separate, you know, as in individual, I don't like using the word individual here, but as although we are all individual, as a collective, we can all perceive and understand the same, just as in the same sense as 3 + 3 = 6, like, yeah. How is Carol Woods doing? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know whether she's still on, you know, being poisoned. I don't know, mate. I don't know. And again, I don't know on John Patterson. Yeah. See, the point is, I mean, because this is what I'm trying to say to you, Reg, yeah? We're not going to do this with violence, me personally. And the point is, there shouldn't be a need to. We just need to be correct. And ultimately, okay, things are going to get done. Things happen. Shit happens. Things do get done. But when they do get, you know, when things do happen, it means you've got a record, and there's a chronological time to when those things that are done will be brought to light, and then the remedy will be provided. So, you know, okay, people, where's the results? Where's the results? Well, you've got some results where they've just they've pulled out, walked away. But this is it, guys. What's actually happening here is, in a sense, what's actually happening here is there is an organization which we are calling the Pyramid of Terror, which is a bunch of criminals working with inside the public services in the private. They are a very well organized team, and they work solidly together, and they back each other up solidly. And I mean solidly. You've got the police, which is the force. You've got the courts, which is the liars, which is the people with inside the bar association. Yeah, because remember, the bar association, end of the day, realistically, they are the ones. They are the ones that's controlling in that aspect. Although the force is the police. So which one you want to put on the top of the pyramid is really, I don't know. I mean, the way Anthony says it's about the police, because the end of the day, the police is the enforcement, yeah? So, you know, which one you want to care to put on the top there is really down to yourself. Because although the police are enforcing it, truly, in fact, actually, what it should be is the court should be on the top, because the court, yeah, if operating correctly, nothing can be done without the court. I mean, the police can only grab you, they have to take you before the court. So ultimately, they all work together, you know. But the mere factor that the council, yeah, they can hire the building of a court. Who? I mean, for a start off, yeah, courts are public buildings, yeah. They're meant to be public buildings. Did the public agree that the courts could hire their building out to the council to let the council go in there and operate makeshift trials without zero authority of the court, meaning it's just a shit show. It's absolutely just a shit show. But the results come purely because the police that are working with inside that circle that will actually enforce these pieces of paper, because that's all they are. There is a difference between a court paper, which is authentic and been created by the court, and a piece of paper which has been counterfeited to look like it's come from the court. Two different things. Because if it is the court, then there's going to be a record of it, and it's going to be on the computer. Just like I was telling you about there's a difference between an MOT certificate that when you phone up, you can see that it's on the computer and that it went through this garage at this certain day, it passed this test, this is the guy that did the test, these were the results, and it's all on the computer because it's all been uploaded to the computer. And then you've got another document that says exactly the same. Only difference is you phone up and it's not on the computer. So one's legit and one's a counterfeit. And you can simply see that. And the police can do that very simple. The police can check out any of your documentations because they will go straight to it. And as long as you're not going to any of theirs to capture these criminals out, because that's what I'm trying to say, guys. This infiltration, they will cover each other's backs, and they help each other, and this is why. No fact shall ever be heard or tried in a court of law. Correct, Jock? It may come down to violence. If it listen, it may come. Well, I don't agree. I mean, I don't agree. What it comes down to is understanding exactly what it is to do and how to do it. And I'm sure there are people that are doing this. When they are 100% correct, they're putting that round peg in the round hole. They're not putting the square peg in the round hole. They're putting a round peg in the round hole. And when you correct, it's like, of course it was. It's straight in. So we are missing something. Now, from what I'm seeing and what I haven't seen disproved yet, right? What I haven't seen disproved yet is, you see, what the system, or what these, for want of the better word, Satan meaning, yeah. I mean, let me show you, so that we know, because I'm not talking about no stupid twat with the fucking red horns, yeah, because I don't give a shit for him or anything. Satan's nothing, mate. Yeah, Satan is nothing. Okay, so let me try to explain to you exactly what I mean. Right. So Satan, right? So forget this, the proper name of the supreme evil spirit, not physical, spirit in Christianity, right? And I'm not saying anything about Christianity or anything like that, because that's a religion, yeah? That's a religion. Everyone's got their own rights, yeah? But this spirit, yeah? Spirit's within inside us all, yeah? So Old English, Satan, from the Latin, Satan in vulgar Old Testament only. The Greek, Satanas, and from Hebrew, Satan, adversary. Okay, Doesn't say a man with a fucking red horn, not a red man with horns, with a big fork in his hand, with a fire fucking around him. One who plots against another. Okay, so right then, did that house get taken off Margaret yesterday? Yeah, she was fucking dragged out of the house kicking and screaming because they wouldn't listen to a goddamn word she was saying. Because why? Because one had plotted against her, and they all stood as one and plotted against her. So they were Satan. There's Satan. Here you go, guys. If you want to know who the devil is, look at it. The devil's in the details, guys. You're seeing the devil for the devil, who the devil is, from Satan, yeah? To show enmity, to oppose, plot against. From the root, one who opposes, obstructs. Did them alleged policemen with the black Union Jack flag on their chest that refused to give their name, only gave a number and a surname, even if that be their true name, we will never, we may find out at a later date. Did them alleged, and I'm saying alleged because they're not bailiffs until they've identified themselves. So we don't know whether they were bailiffs. Yeah. Did they not instruct? Yeah. All this is, yeah. Or acts as an adversary. Well, there you go then. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, do them people not agree to you? Does that not agree to you that they were Satan? Yeah, because they had an evil spirit in them, because they chose not to listen to a good spirit, which was what Margaret was doing, presenting the facts that the court had never issued her any proceedings. So therefore there was no warrant. They couldn't produce a warrant to be seen. All they wanted to argue about was about the mortgage and this, that, and the payments. It's nothing to do with that. And in any case, she'd already gone to the police, and the police said, you go to, what's it? So she'd gone to the ombudsman. So it was in dispute. This whole thing was in dispute. The police knew that this was in dispute, and it was with the ombudsman, but they didn't care, because were they police? Well, I don't know. We don't know whether they were police or not. And the funny thing is, the police won't identify them. Strange, that, isn't it? So just so that you see what I mean, that when you're looking at words, I mean, people talk about Satan. Well, listen, mate. If you're going to say Satan, say it for what it is. They are Satan. They are Satan, because at the end of the day, what they've done was exactly what the word Satan actually means. Yeah, other criminal, ombudsman, for sure. I mean, because they're all working together, and they're all gatekeepers. So violence is the lowest form of communication. Unfortunately, that is all certain individuals will understand. God loves a trier. There's a point, Jock. I mean, I'm certainly not saying don't defend yourself. Castle doctrine, Castle doctrine, mate. That's the highest law of all, yeah. Everyone has the right to defend themselves, and it's not that. I mean, the point is, it's not like you've just like with like the tapping on the knee. It's a natural knee-jerk reaction that you are going to defend yourself. If somebody launches at you, you're going to defend yourself. Well, some are naturally. You can't help it. I mean, I wouldn't be able to say. It wouldn't be, because it won't be. It'll be the spirit, the natural spirit that's within inside us, that's naturally going to defend its body. So the castle doctrines is an obvious factor that some people are not going to be helped. Some people are not going to be able to stop themselves from defending themselves, and if that means that the other person has come to hurt them, get hurt worse, so be it. So be it. It's tough shit. I mean, it wouldn't have happened if you hadn't come to attack me. So you started it, and my spirit finished it. Thank you very much. Job done. My spirit's looked after me very well. It's told my body what to do, and you've ended up on the floor, and it's over, isn't it? Yeah. Gangsters acting as police, you bailiffs. You bailiffs, nothing more than well-organised criminals. Yeah, I mean, see, this is the thing. Another thing, actually, and it's our faults. We're doing it. We're saying they're courts. We're saying they're bailiffs. We're saying they're police. Incorrect, because we cannot substantiate those claims, because unless it's a court. I mean, this is what I say to people. People say to me that they've been invited to court. They've been summoned to court. Well, I mean, obviously, it's not you that's been invited to court. Obviously, it was your legal embodiment. But let's pass that thing. Yeah, let's skip to that point. The point is, it's not just that you wasn't invited to the court. It is the court didn't invite you anyway, because it wasn't the court. It is what I'm saying. It's the pyramid of triangle that are deceiving you, not only with an illusion that it's a court, but they're also deceiving you, the man and woman, to come and stand and represent the fiction. Yeah. So there's many layers of deception. When you see the many layers of deception, you start to see how you've been deceived. And once you see the truth of what it is, you no longer can be deceived. That's why knowing the truth will set you free from it. Yeah. So ultimately, the side of actually being taken to this place that they're alleging is a court, first things first is you have to substantiate that claim. And remember, the court is the paper. This building that's meant to have the authority. I mean, I don't know why do they call it a court, really? Why are they calling it a court? Court is a yard, isn't it? So this is a place that you go to hear the court. The court is the paper. Yeah, the paper. So what paper are we talking? The paper is the proceedings. Why is it the proceedings? Because the proceedings is what's inside the case, and the proceedings is what's created from the information that was laid at this area where we're going to be hearing this piece of paper that was laid, the court. When that information was laid, yeah, that information then goes inside the case, and that is the case that you're going to this area that they're calling a court, yeah, when realistically that's the floor, that's the well of where this court, the paperwork, is going to be heard. So now we understand that, okay, then, right, so this is what a court is. So that's what a court is. Oh, right. Yeah, the tennis court. I mean, this is what I'm trying to say on the many different ones. There's, the four corner rule. A court is a level playing field. Yeah. So if it's a level playing field, it's only what's on the level. When you're on the level, yeah, that's what's being heard. But hang on here, the judge is on a different level. The jury is on a different level. It's on a different plane. It's not on the level plane. Yeah. So you've got to keep it on the plane, keep it plain and simple on the level. Let's stay on the level. So you have to remove those planes so that everything's in the well of the court. So if you remove all planes and boxes, that means anything inside a box, i.e. a witness box, a jury box, you have to remove those boxes and remove those planes so that everything is on the well of the court. Now it's your court because it's your paperwork that you're answering to. And this is where you're holding these judges and whatever in there. If they haven't sworn an oath, the judge is nothing more, nothing less than a puny judge. He's meant to be, how we're told it's meant to be and what they're meant to be is great, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, the judge is nothing more than a referee, and the judge is meant to be there as a servant, a public servant. Remember, he's there to be help and aiding and assisting you, aiding and helping you with the process to make sure that everything's coming out clear and everything. He should be, oh, hang on, if he is in there, and the judge is being good, oh, hang on, you shouldn't have said that. Or can you clarify that just so that, because that could be meant two ways. And we want to make sure that we only stay. So, they could be helping you. They're not telling you that, look, we speak a different language here. We're not telling you that, okay, that we use the Black's Law Dictionary. Yeah. It's so, you're speaking, I know you went to school. I know we taught you with the Oxford Dictionary and the Cambridge Dictionary. it's okay, you know, but I know we're not going to tell you that we use a different language, because that's another part of their deception. There's many layers of these different deceptions. The four corner, all the plane, different on a plane, you know, the immunity of the fact that the judge was never in the court because he was on a different level. So he says, well, I was never in the court, because he wasn't, because he was on a different level. It's only what's on the well of the court. It's only what's in the well of the court. Now, when it's in the court, it's a level playing field, yeah? It's man against man, or should be. But that depends on how strong the man is, yeah? And how he can not allow himself to be tricked or trapped within all the other many layers of deception, i.e. the language, the words, what the words mean, the finite meaning of the words. You know, you hear people that say that they've gone into the court with a dictionary, you know, and when the judge said 3 words, you know, you go through it and say, like, you know, how can you give a finite meaning to that word? Because I look in here, and the first word that you said, it's got 8 or 9 different definitions. Which definition, which finite meaning are you giving to that word so that I can understand? Like when I went into the court down here, they asked me to go into the court, and it was over some act. Let's just say it was over an act. It was for a driving offence or something, or whatever it was. And I went there. I said, you know, because they called me, and I went up. I went up, like I sit there. I slapped my hand hard on the counter, you know, because they was Greek, I was English, so that they knew I'd created joinder with them. So it makes it we're now on a level playing field. Handed in my live live claim. They said, what's all this? What in the language? I says, that's who I am as the man. And it says, and I require the correct sentence, structure, communication, parsing, syntax, grammar of the act or statute that you're applying on either man for the avoidance of perjury, or for the avoidance of perjury. Meaning, yeah, you've made a claim against me. I've not seen anything. I've not seen any paperwork. And you're making a claim that I've done a wrong because I've broken something, a rule or regulation. So I need to see for myself, yeah, in correct sentence, structure, communication, parsing, syntax, grammar, which is one word, one meaning, one sentence, one meaning, forward and backward, mathematical, so it's set as a fact, so that I now can read it 100%, you know, not 99, not 50, or, you know, I think I know what you mean. No, I now know what you mean, because it's written in correct sentence structure, and therefore your volition is down on the paper. So whatever these acts or statutes that you're applying against either man that you're claiming that I have broken, let me see, and I'll be the judge, because I'm a judge. I'm not going to judge whether or not I have actually broken it. So let me see it in this. Let me read it in a language that I know that it says what it means. I know you're not going to fork tongue deceive me, because you can't, because it will say what it means and means what it says. And I will be able to know it, just like if you was to say to me, does 3 + 3 = 6? I'm going to be able to give you an answer, because I know I'm not going to purge myself, and I'm going to say, yes, 3 + 3 = 6. So if you're going to say that I've broken an act, let me see it so that I can work it out, just like I would 3 + 3, and I'm going to give you an answer. But I cannot give you an answer until I see it like this, because if I did, I may perjure myself. So I'm not saying I'm not going to refuse. I'm giving you a conditional acceptance, and that condition means you're going to have to be 100% truthful with me, because I'll be 100% truthful with you. I want to be remaining in I put on God's armor. I put on God's armor, and I stand in the truth. And I refuse to lie or give an answer that may not be 100% correct, because I know that's wrong. I know that's lying, and I would perjure myself. Yeah. Are you Mr. Blogs? Are you addressing me? Yes, I'm addressing you. Is that civil or criminal? It's civil, but I don't recall signing such a contract. Exactly. I mean, exactly. Again, you know, how strong is to confront another man and pull the whole curtain down to see that little man behind it. Exactly. Again, because this is the point. When you hold them Because remember, they've only got deception. That's all they work. These are, remember, these are Satan. These are Satan. And when I say Satan again, I'll repeat, I'll say it. These are not men with horns, with a big fork with flames coming out and painted red. These are evil spirits. These are people, these are spirit, because we're all spiritual. And that spirit can be good or bad, yeah? And a bad spirit, yeah, a bad spirit is within inside every vessel, is inside our vessels, and we can choose to be either good or bad. I could be evil if I wanted to be. I don't choose to be, and I don't want to be, but I could be. I could be exactly the same as what these people are doing. I can see how they trick and deceive people. I could go around and do that and make a lot of money, couldn't I? Just the same as they're doing. I wouldn't do that because I have a conscience. I don't see how it's possible that these people are conscious of the fact that whatever they're going to do or what they are doing is going to come back and bite them. It wasn't until, like I say, when I was at 40, it wasn't until that day that I did that and took that one step inwards and became conscious. That day, I became conscious of everything that I'd been doing. And when you become conscious of what you've been doing and you realize the things that you've done that you believed was righteous and the right thing to do, and you realize that actually it was fucking hell. What the hell was I thinking of? Why the hell didn't I stop to think about that at the time and realize and give it the right? Because we didn't. We've been very lazy. We've all been very lazy. Yeah. And we've all let things slip and we've done things not knowingly that it was true and it was right to do so. And we've believed or thought, and in both of those, in believe there's a lie, we've accepted the lie and continued it. I mean, it's like I say, how many people have told people things as though it was true, but they hadn't done their due diligence. They didn't have the facts to produce the material evidence to substantiate that claim. They just went on somebody else's word, hearsay. They just said it straight to them. Yeah, it's true. And that man or woman's gone out there and gone and done something and got himself in a hell of a lot of trouble because he's gone and done it, yeah, because he took your word for it. So this where it comes back into the Roman rule is let those people that are deceived. If you willfully allow yourself to be deceived, it's fine to them. It's perfectly fine to these people that the likes of this pyramid of triangle. It's fine to them. They think you're just worthless pieces of shit. And they think they're something special. And realistically, it's the other way. So it's a bit of both, really. It's a bit of both, because like I say, none of this stuff that's happening to us could happen if we didn't allow it. And we can't just say, well, I didn't know. Sorry. You see, in Philotimo, they don't use the word sorry, guys. In Philotimo, there is no sorry, because that's the love of honor, and a friend of honor. And when you're in honor, you don't say sorry, because you've not done nothing to say sorry for, because you're being honorable. And when you stay in honor, you're not saying sorry. So to say sorry means you're dishonored. So you can't have Philotimo. If you're being dishonorable, you can't have. So to feel the need to have said sorry, you wouldn't be saying sorry. You would be damn. You would rectify it. That's how you would say sorry. You would make it good. Everybody can make mistakes. We're human, yeah? However, it's up to us to make sure that we do our best. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's why I do what I do, because I tried to do this to explain to everybody so that you can understand. Listen, when I'm saying this, I'm no different than any one of you out there. We're all the same. And I don't know all the answers. I'm a long way away from all the answers. Yeah. But what I do know is the difference between good and bad in a spiritual sense. I know the thing between me, this all about me and sharing and knowing that you're a part of the collective. So to know that you're a part of the collective, in other words, we're one. We're one as a community in the sense. Others want to be the controllers, the controllers, and they want to have everything, and they want people underneath them. I don't want anybody underneath me. I want to bring people up so that we're all on the same level. I'm trying to explain it in the way so that you can understand that, hang on here, I'm nothing special, guys. And what I'm saying rings true because it will resonate with you. All I'm speaking is from the heart, and we all have one. Whether that heart's been closed off or not, we still have one, and it will still resonate with you. There is no more excuses now. We know we can no longer run away from this. Let's go off the ego. We need to stand as one, as there, and be there for one another, for everyone, for one another, Imagine yesterday because yesterday with what happened to Margaret, ultimately they've given us a beautiful video. They've done us a beautiful video to explain to people, look, guys, if you think, sitting on your arse, is going to protect you, what you just saw yesterday is coming for you. I can guarantee you 100%. And with the amount of legals, these acts and statutes there, although they don't apply, but if you don't know this, and I'm talking about the masses here, which don't understand the difference between what a law is and what a legal is. They don't understand between what the man is and what the person is. That's what the masses don't understand, because they're still a part of that indoctrination. They've not broken away from it to actually have a mind of their own. All their minds are completely controlled, and they just go with the flow, go with the herd. But that herd, regardless, we need to shepherd that herd, in the sense as we need to bring that herd into awareness so that they can be bringing the herd up, enlightening the herd. We need to bring everyone up to speed, because it's the only reason these bad things are being done is because we've allowed it. We've been asleep at the wheel. We've had it easy, and they've just gone full hell bell to leather to do what they do to take complete control of this world and everybody that's on it, and own everybody and everything that's on it. I agree with you. I truly believe they are coming in force because they are pissed. We are standing up to them. If Margaret needs a witness, I will definitely be one. Cheers, Gus. The thing, before, I remember years ago, you probably remember it years ago, that there used to be a big group. I remember that was that Tom, whatever it was. There was loads of people down there around his house when they was taking his house, and with Patrick Cullinane and stuff, and there was all those people going to the courts. You see, ultimately, any group like that, same as mine when I had that global jury, you're going to get infiltrators. And by infiltrators, you know what an infiltrator is. And not necessarily those infiltrators are in there, but those infiltrators will get into the minds of the people that are in there. Because, it's very difficult to get people to be on the same page. But this is the beauty of when you start to do the forensics on things, i.e. like on Margaret's case, now you've got Tom Crawford, that was it, cheers, Reg. Now you've got the forensics of the case. You can stand with confidence. When you've got something in your hand, when something's in the mind, people can get you confused. But when you've got it in your hands, you've got something to focus on, you've got something to point at, and you've got something, until this is cleared up, there is nothing. What court case? What warrant? You do know the difference between, you see, this is a £20 note, authentic. Look, it's got the strip in it. It's got the, what's it? You see this one? This one's a counterfeit. Look, no strip on it, blah, blah, blah. You see, you do know the difference between what real is and what not real is. What real is, what is counterfeit. Right. So here you said this is a warrant. Now, here's what a real warrant is. And here, if anything else, is not real. So where's the warrant? Oh, here it says it should have this, this, this. It doesn't have that on it. Okay, never mind. I mean, that's just in the physical format, you know. On the notes, on the pound notes, you know, they've got numbers. They've got numbers. That will be logged into the computer. You know, like on an MOT certificate, it's got numbers. That will be logged into the computer. What, you think a warrant and a court order, do you think they're anything different? Why? Why do you think it's anything different, guys? It isn't. The point is, let me have a think now. If we're talking about a dodgy £20 note or a dodgy MOT certificate, that's because normal Joe Bloggs has got it in his hands, and the police will do normal Joe Bloggs. But when you're talking about a court order, ooh, I don't want to be proving that wrong, because if I prove that wrong, they'll prove that everything they've been doing all this time, it'll open such a massive floodgate. Everybody will have to they'll have to give their children back. They'll have to compensate people. They'll have to give their houses back. They'll have to compensate people. They'll have to give their cars back. They'll have to do all this. And those people that have done all these things, they would have to be brought before a court. Yeah, they would have to be given a charge for their wrongdoings, and they would have to serve a penance. So they'd have to be put into some prison. They'd have to serve some form of penance. And if they did that, that means that all the police, all the courts, all the people within the courts, and not all, let me rephrase that. There will be a lot of people that are within the police force. There will be a lot of people within the court system, and there will be a lot of people within the council system that would be brought before a court and tried with the facts. With the facts, because the evidence proves that they have all committed fraud. The evidence proves that the police are belligerent terrorists, just like the belligerent terrorists that worked on Margaret yesterday. They were belligerent terrorists. There's no other way of putting it. We have claim of status. We have sent our notice. Now we need to stand together, come out of the groups and go helping each other. 25 people next to Margaret is more than enough. Enough of marches and pointless organisations. Well said, actually. Well said, Anna. Well said. Australia is out in mass. Yeah. If only those masses, I mean, because like I say, remember, if you break one, you break all. Fraud proves all void. So you prove one, you prove all. So we prove the fact that the court has operated in fraud. You show how you proved that the court was operating in fraud, i.e., there was no record of an information lay. There was no record of a filing fee or a receipt for a filing fee being paid. That when they filed that information lay. There is no proof of service that the court ever issued the proceedings. Yeah. So on and so forth. You've got the facts. You've got the facts. You prove one, then it's very, very simple. Just like the PPI, this is what Anthony was saying, just like the PPI, it's just a simple phone call. Hello? Check this. No, it doesn't exist. Well, if it doesn't exist, then it is fraud. Very easy. Very easy. Very easy to see. Thumbprint on the way. And I'll just so you know, who's going to be the one who's going to listen. It doesn't matter who's going to be the one. We've got shed loads of what Anthony's done, right? We've got George, which Anthony's calling London George. He's got I think it was 14 cases, all fraud, no case been filed on him. You've got Tariq Sadiq, is it Tariq Sadiq? He's I think he had 27. Okay. You've got Karen Taylor. Karen Taylor, as people may know, or Karen Louise, as I would call her, because she's a woman. Yeah, I'm not going to speak about the fiction. So you've got Karen Louise, yeah, who her daughter was stolen by a counterfeit doll's order, yeah, and stolen and taken away and held away from because I mean she was crying, she was screaming to want to go back to her mum, and they refused to give her back to her mum. They refused a 14-year-old daughter's screams, even though she'd put her thumbprint all of the documents demanding that she goes back to her mum. They refused, yeah, and they refused it from giving it back to the mother too. None of her case numbers are legitimate. None of them are in. There's no record of any of them in the court. And let me just tell you, the court has notified Karen and told her that there is no court case management records of the alleged case numbers that she was given, and I believe she sent in 10. So what I'm saying to you is, how much evidence do we need to understand inside our own heads that, here guys, it's nice and simple, it's something that you can hold and see. It's I think realistically, I think we can all understand this, even the people that are not. If they only had the want or the interest, well, that's why, you know, that video yesterday was good in the sense because of what Margaret did, and God bless her, and may the force be with her and may remain within her, you know, because what she's actually done there is, and there's others, but the point is, with Margaret's actual cases, it had already been pre-planned. It had already, all the information had gone in previously. They was aware of it fully. They had all been notified and put on notice to the facts, and they failed in their duty 100%. And we captured, not only them failing in their duty, we captured the belligerent act of terrorism. We witnessed the alleged police supporting and giving legitimacy to unidentified men and women claiming to be bailiffs that failed in their duty to produce their material evidence to substantiate them. They never even identified themselves. That is a crime in itself. They should have been arrested there and then by them. I also have a friend of mine, same as Karen, with an affidavit said to the judge they came and kidnapped a baby. Yeah. Well, who was it served? See, this is the thing again, and this we need to highlight this simple thing, because remember about the playing fields, yeah. Because as at this stage right now in this Corona period, yeah, what's actually happening now is everything's coming to light. So in this Corona period, yeah, with the United Nations all took their flags down. There's no the contracts have all been washed. So it's each individual now, as men and women, yeah, we make the contracts. But how can you make a contract? How can a man make a contract with a piece of paper or a corporate or a building? How can you make a contract with a building, or because I'm saying with a building or a piece of paper? How can a living man make a contract with a dead entity? Because a building or a corporation is a dead entity. A piece of paper or a birth certificate is the dead entity. It's illegal. It's a fiction. So how can a man, a fact, make a contract with a fiction? So when you said that you've got a friend who sent an affidavit, how can a man, send an affidavit, to a fiction, and expect a fiction to answer the affidavit? I mean, I know it's wrong, and they should still answer it. However, if you don't go from man to man, or man to woman, or woman to man, exactly. I've noticed, all by their born name, So, and I'm not listening, guys. I'm not saying that even if you do that, they're gonna perform different, because I don't know. But what I am saying is, until you've done it, don't knock it until you've tried it. Yeah. So finding these actors out, and again, this is what this this is what this thing's all about. It's about identification. They're bringing in all this to enforce these people to identify themselves, because, and this is why, in some aspects I was agreeing. I would agree to the fact that people should have to identify themselves. Yeah. But if you're going to identify yourself, I do. I will more than happily identify myself, but I will identify myself as the fact, not the fiction. And there is the difference. And I stand firm to only be the fact, not the fiction. And that, like I say, there's the difference. Like, the problem is she was misinformed and didn't approach these ruthless monsters. Again, it's horses of courses. You learn by the. I mean, this is why I'm so important on this point that I'm talking to you now about going man to man, is because for the people that have been watching what I've been doing, I've been trying to help many people out, like I say, Carol Woods, John Patterson, so on and so forth. Yeah. And I've been sending emails in quantum. I've been sending emails in plain English, as Baron Andrew Devine, as Baron of the House of, I've been sent as the man, and as a fact, as a man. And I've been sending to these people, holding them under their, I've been doing this, but they've just totally ignored. Well, the point was, what I'm getting at is, so I know about doing it wrong, because I've been doing it wrong all the time, in a sense, as I may have been doing it wrong, but at the same time, although I was doing right, you can't do right for wrong. Yeah, you can't, because I wasn't going. I was going to a corporation. I was going to an actor. So in a sense, I've been doing all this, but I've been going to a fucking brick building or a piece of paper, or an actor is just it's a mask. I've been going to a mask, expecting the mask, and these people can take it off and then just walk free. That's what they think. Ultimately, that we need to grab them as the man, and then when you catch them, and then what do you do? Well, end of the day, the military's there. I'm not there yet. Like I say, I'm not there. First things first, you're going through a process, isn't it? But I'm sure as hell that, if there was enough good men, if there was enough good men and women around in this world, we could be the force, or most certainly give the command. That was what that flag was all about, wasn't it? People say that flag doesn't exist, but you've seen that the Navy state that they are obligated to it, but they just needed the correct orders going to the man. But this is the thing. They've put all these gatekeepers in the way so that you can't get to the man. You can't even find the names, man. You can't even get the names. It's a learning path. We need to constantly learn and research. Exactly. Knowledge is part. Exactly. And this is the thing. I mean, like I say, I'm only imagine if I'd have fucking started this when I was younger. If I hadn't tossed myself, well, not tossed off, but if I'd have only put my mind to this, for a start off, I would have been so much less shit to get out of my head, and you know, teaching the old dogs new tricks. You know, it's not difficult in, you know, for the children, if we could get the children away. That's why they're after the children, guys, because the children are the ones that fucking ask why. And they don't want you asking questions. They want you doing as you're told. They've got to have you doing as you're told. And they want you to fucking fear them when realistically they fear you. All of these, they fear you. They fear every single one of you out there. If the day you wake up is there, that the day is there, they're over, they're finished. You know, and I tried, you know, many different ways. Like I say, I mean, with what's going down here now, right? Yeah. With this showing the breach of the procedure, it's a point. It's a point that's bulletproof. You know, it's with their own laws. You know, it's with their own laws. Ask your accuser to make the claim to my face, i.e. Merseyside police cannot accuse if they are a title or a fiction. Exactly. And this is the bit. So I mean, now it's, I mean, when it's like, I mean, when that, I mean, I'd heard it before, but when I heard Mark Christopher stating it, yeah, it just, fucking hell, of course. And as far as I mean, there's people that call him like, yeah, and I don't know him. I've been on some of his meetings whatever years ago. You know, I can't fault his volition. I can't fault his volition. There's people say he's a robber, he's a fucking this, that, and the other, but I've not seen it. I've not seen it. I'm not bigging him up or belittling him. I'm just saying what I see, you know. So what I see and what I've seen him in saying, and you know, I think he's trying to do the same as me. I mean, I'd say he's certainly got more knowledge than me on, but as the man inside, the spiritual being within inside, I would say that we was one and the same. I don't think he's a con artist. Huh? I love Mark still for exactly 100. But you know, I mean, there's people that say they don't like it. That's their choice. That's the prerogative. You know, he may well have done things, but like I say, I mean, unless you actually see it in writing what he did and what he said, there's two sides to an argument. Remember, and if you can see that there was confusion, you can, once you start with, oh, he's a wanker, and it's like, oh, what did he do? And then you go to speak to the side, like, oh, and then you get like, is that it? You two people don't like each other because of this, and it's nothing. You know, and you're saying it because somebody else said they did this. Do you know what he did? You know, it's your own prerogative. If you're going to dislike somebody and not listen to them just because someone said, or because of an argument or a tiff, you know, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know, because at the end of the day, yeah, there's some beautiful stuff there. Yeah? There's some beautiful stuff and there's some beautiful information there that's helping, that can help. You know, like I said, I don't know if it's going to or not. I mean, but at the end of the day, he put his oath as a potential judge, yeah, that if you go to them as the man to a man, you'll get results. So, you know, we're going to see, aren't we? You know, ultimately, you could say, well, I went to him as a man, and it didn't happen. Well, first things first, let's have a look what you sent. Let's have a look what you wrote. Let me see how you put your sword to paper. Let me see what you've actually written in there, how you've come across, you know. See, I mean, I figured out a long time ago, an argument is when two people can be right. So there's two people arguing, but neither of them are listening, and they're both saying the right things, but because neither of them are listening, neither of them will agree. That's why there's an argument. If one of them would just stop to listen and hear what the other side person was saying, what he was shouting about, you know, the reason he was shouting is because the other one wasn't listening. So if you go in there as an intermediate and there's an argument going on, you'll find that they're both right. And if you explained and let them both explain while the other one's listening, they will hear, oh, I thought you meant this. I'm not interested in what you thought. We're only interested in the facts. But now you realise that you thought he meant something different, and you realise he didn't. The argument's over. Yeah? Pardon? Oh, I just said something. So obviously I said something for it to be taken. So yeah. So let me, while I'm on it, like, yeah, what I asked this for is hackers and private detectives wanted. So for the people out there, yeah, we're on Resolve as well. Resolve's a good site. We use Resolve pure and simple because Resolve keeps your court file, keeps your case file, because your court is the paper. Remember, your case file, yeah, is you're creating your own courts, guys, and Resolve does it for you, and it keeps it all in order. And whenever you've got a dispute with them, it keeps everything in order. And then at the end, you can just print it off, and it prints your case file. So, because most people are lazy, most people don't keep the paperwork, but you can have it's all in one place. So it's very good for you all, for everyone, and it's free. Beautiful place, beautiful thing. And it takes a little time to get into it as well. It only took me a year, so it wasn't that bad. But I wasn't using it much. So, I mean, over a year, but slowly, when you go back to use it again. So you'd pick it up very, I don't know, probably a couple of days maximum, really, a couple of days. That's if you're slow, just to go back and just to make sure you're looking at it. But yeah, it does things for me. It formulates the letters. It teaches you how to write them. It's very good. It's very good. And if you can find, I mean, you can tell how good it is because none of the courts will answer to it now. But you can still use it as a place where you can keep all your files, and you can email, and you can put that email in there. So you can send it via that, and you can also send it via your email to them to get an answer. They may not answer to your resolver case, your resolver email, but the point is it's there. You've sent it. You've got a record that it's been sent, and it's all in a case file, and it's all there. Because they'll say like, "Oh, I didn't get your email." Well, hang on. This said you did, and it was sent in here, and it's a base that's going to be accepted as a fact because that's why it was built up there, so that you can actually state it. Because otherwise they'll say, "Oh, I didn't get it," or "I didn't see it." So it's just it eliminates their ability to lie or get out of it. Yeah. So so as I've put on here, like, yeah, hackers and private detectives wanted, like, yeah, right. And the reason why I'm saying about hackers and private detectives because there's certain people, yeah, we need to find their name. We need to find out who the man or woman is. So yeah, they both. So now, yeah, haven't it? I go 8. So at so I've got to get to work in a minute. I've got to go help out. Where was I? So yeah, we can find out the actors' names, yeah, i.e., like Boris Johnson is the actor's name, is the stage name. You can go onto Wikipedia and you can see the born name, his born name, which is Alexander Boris de Freffel Johnson. So we can find the Prime Minister, yeah, but you try and find Chief Constable such and such. You try and find. Let me give you them out because these are the 3 police. This is 3 alleged police officers that was at Margaret's house yesterday that aided and assisted unidentified people alleging to be bailiffs with an alleged warrant which was counterfeit. Yeah, so it was all. So these were criminals aiding criminals. There was definitely, at the very least, there was complicit. So there was one of the alleged police officers was P. In fact, I'll put it in now. I'll copy it and I'll put it in. P0857 Mangano. 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 P0857 Mangano. Okay, there's one. I'll just so I can put it in. This is one of them. Paste. So if anybody can, and that will be at alleged Northampton. That would have been from Northampton, allegedly. Yeah. So it would be nice if we could find the name and address of P0857 Mangano, right? That would be great. I found a lot of CEOs' names are fictitious and they don't exist, and nobody is accountable. This is the point. This is a point I'm getting at, Reg, and this is why I'm saying we need hackers and private detectives wanted desperately. Can't pay you anything, but God will look after you. That's what I'll say. The good will come. If you come on board, you don't even have to give your names. You can just send anonymous messages, but you better be telling the truth though, and provide the evidence. I don't want no lies, because I'm saying this because you can get hacked now by the fucking trolls. They'll give you different names. So you can come to me in the private, and I'll give you my word as a man, and I'll give you my word. No one will ever find out who told me. Yeah. So there's the first one, P0857 Mangano, who is meant to be a policeman or woman. I don't know if it's a policeman or woman, because it's just the names like. Then the other one was P0916 Diebner, D-I-E, Diebner, Diebner. So that is the second one, and I'll put it in here. If anybody can get the name and address of this man so that we can go to him his private individual capacity as a man acting as whatever he was acting as. I don't know whether it was a police officer, whether it was just a man in the corporate, in the private corporation, acting as a police officer to aid and assist a crime, because that's exactly what they did. So, like again, P0916 Diebner, Diebner. I require, if anyone can provide, I'll be very grateful. So will Margaret, because the police have refused to identify them. The police, I'll tell you a story about it actually. Margaret's phoned the police asking them to identify it. The police have refused to identify these officers. So we don't know who they are, right? And the funny thing is, on the day of it happening, the day before, Margaret had phoned up in the morning the day, to the police to report what was happening. I think it was today, she got a phone call back asking if they can help. We're sorry we didn't. So this is the day after that she asked the police to come down there and stop these alleged people, right? Yeah, that was meant to be bailiffs, right? To arrest them because they were there as fraud. They'd failed to identify themselves and all this lot. But she'd phoned them to preempt it so that the police would be there for her to protect her from these thieves, these counterfeit, dodgy, whoever they are. And they never even bothered to come and never bothered to phone or anything. Like the next day, they phone up and ask her, hello, blah, blah. And she told them what had happened. And she said to identify them. She asked them to identify these same numbers. And the police refused to identify them. Not only did they refuse to identify them, she said, the police said that we saw you because we've seen the body cams and you was kicking them. You was kicking the police officers. So, what can I say, guys? This is what I'm trying to say. They're all working together, yeah? And the third and final one is we don't have a name or a surname or whatever it would be. We just have a number to that. And that is P1670. So any policeman out there that has got a conscience, any policeman, any men or women in the police force, and I know you're watching what I do, any members of whatever organisations that are in there, please, yeah, please, anonymously, yeah, you can get to me anonymously, yeah, and provide me this information, because if you can provide me this information, then we can put a claim against these people, because they have, as you see in that video that's already done, they're done and dusted, mate. Their crimes is on video. They can never substantiate anything that they've done is authentic or valid, because they have, you know, and we've got the evidence. They haven't got the evidence to substantiate any of their claims. That is a house theft. Yeah, that was belligerent act of terrorism. That was concealment. That was whatever you want to call it. It was a disgusting crime. Yeah, and remember, yeah, ultimately, yeah, all you police that are in there, whether you care for it or not, yeah, ultimately they will be coming for you, because you know when they don't want you anymore, you know what's going to happen to you. Yeah. So ultimately they're coming for every single one of us. Yeah. And you are part of we, and we are part of you. Yeah. Because we're meant to be all one. We're meant to be all one and helping each other. Yeah. So just to reiterate for everyone that wants it, if you want to write it down, I'll put it in this, and I'm just going to do this in case for people to hear it, they can't see the messages. I require for myself, well, for Margaret too, because the police have refused to identify these characters as policemen, or to give their names. They won't identify. So we require the identification and whereabouts of P0857 Mangano, Mangano, and P0916 Diebner, Diebner, and finally P1670. If anybody can out there can get me the names and addresses for those, the names and service addresses, you know, for those people, for those men and women, yeah, that are hiding behind those corporate identities, those fictitious identities, I would be much grateful, and I'll be thanking you, and you'll be thanking yourself as well, because the sooner we get that solved, we only need to break, like I say, if we can break one, we prove it all. Yeah, we prove it all. So on that note, I'm going to have to go because I've got to go take the dogs before I go and help out, mate. And I love you, Livia. Please share. Please keep awareness, and please, I should actually put the video. I should actually put the video of the illegal eviction in the what's it? So I will. I'll put that in the. This is my YouTube, where the video was, where I uploaded the video. So that's the video in the chat there of the illegal eviction that was caught out there. Women police officers looked like they were really enjoying it yesterday. They barely stopped smiling. Someone needs to take that smile off their face, for certain. And I totally agree with you. And this is the narcissistic tendency of some people, and there are people in there that are not good people. And the police, and I'm sure the good police in there are good police in there, and they must be sick of it. And that, I would imagine the police. If the police do watch that, and please do, Mr. Policeman, because watch that, because you've seen a crime, you joined that police force to stop the crimes, and you just witnessed it, and that's your own fellow colleagues, allegedly, that are doing the crimes themselves. So stand up, be honourable, stand up for the people that you've sworn on an oath to protect. Yeah. So on that note, I'm going to love you, leave you, and God bless. Keep smiling. Keep the lights shining fully on these people doing the dark deeds, and let's just expose them for what they are. Because they don't even realise that they've got an evil spirit inside them. Some of them, do they? You know, some people get pleasure out of other people's pains. You know, well, we need to stop that. Yeah. So on that note, God bless. I'll look for the Zoom so I can end it. Take care, all. Love you all. Keep smiling.